What's going on, YouTube, and welcome to the channel. I am Joe, aka JM Jigs. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. But today we're gonna do a little how-to video. This is gonna be the first how-to video in a series of videos we're gonna do to try to help other painters, and so they can learn different things. That's how I started. When I started painting, I was on YouTube. I was searching other bait makers, painters, watching how they painted, watching their techniques, and learning a lot from them. And one thing I'm going to tell you guys is you can never stop learning. It's constantly a learning curve and trying to do something different and trying to impress the fish and the angler, because you want the angler to buy your baits and you want them to catch fish on them, believe me. But today we're going to be doing this pattern here. This is my sunset perch. This is painted on a 2.5 blank from Pretty Lures. I am Pretty Lures Pro Staff, so you can go on to their page. It's prettylures.com. They have almost everything you need for a bait maker. You want lure blanks, you want paint, you want helping hands, you want airbrushes, you want fly tying material, you want jig making material, you make your own bass jigs. They have it. And if you go over there, use my code at checkout, JMJigs10. Again, at checkout, that'll save you 10% off your purchase. And then if you spend $100 or more, you get free shipping. So in the long run, guys, that's a good savings. But jump over there, find what you need. I mean, they have almost every blank you can ask for, everything. I mean, all these cabinets up above my head up here, all that is from Pretty Lures. Everything in there. Everything from glide baits, crankbaits, jerk baits. You got deep divers, you got medium divers. What else do they got? Like I said, everything. I mean, you have their double take blank. That's a beautiful blank to paint right there, guys. I will be doing a video painting one of these one day, but like I said, we're doing my sunset perch on a 2.5 from Pretty Lures. One of the stencils I will be using is from CJ's Custom Stencils. This is their perch pattern for the 2.5. All right, guys, I'm gonna save you guys the headache of watching me prime the bait. My steps for priming them: I take my bill, I get a little red scuff pad here, scuff the bait up a little bit, wipe it down with alcohol, guys. Get that grease off your fingers, get whatever mold release from the manufacturer is off of it. Make sure that bait, that lure, that blank is clean, so it's not going to affect your paint job at all. All right, guys, let's get into it. Oh, and before we get into the video, guys, please like, comment, and subscribe. Drop down in the comments and let me know what you want me to paint. Is there any patterns you'd like to see? Any colors you'd like to see? I'd like to do a little color challenge. You guys pick colors out. I'll do something. I can even do live once I can go live on YouTube. Again, this is the first video on here for me in this little how-to painting series. So if you guys can, it'd be greatly appreciated. Like, comment, and subscribe. All right, guys. So we already started off with a white base, and then I also went over top with a white pearl to save you guys from that. Most of y'all know how to take care of that stuff. We're gonna start off by painting the belly and fading up towards the center of the bait with a transparent yellow. Let's get that loaded up. And today I'm painting with my Iwata Neo. It's my nice little workhorse. Love this guy. Let me turn the booth on. All right, like I said, we're gonna start from here. We're gonna spray right up into here. Nice light coat, guys. You don't gotta go crazy. You just want to get that nice little fade going right up into it. One of the reasons why I like doing the pearls, and a lot of people don't I'm not gonna say a lot of people don't like doing the pearls, but a couple other makers I've talked to, they don't put down that pearl coat first, and I think it gives it that little bit extra when you do. Good. We're going to wash this out and put a little transparent orange in there. We're going to load up a little transparent orange from Createx. We're just going to go right on this midline and up a little bit. This side, get it started, and then I'm going to blend down into the body. Turn her this way. Spray nice and light and get that orange to blend in perfectly there. Do the same on this side. Loaded up, and we're going to hit right down here. Fade that out a little bit. I want to bring this orange into this gill a little bit more here. Alright. Now we're going to wash the orange out. Next we're doing a little fluorescent pink. We're going to bring that across the back, fade it right down into the sides. Now, everyone's probably going to say I didn't heat set it. I don't jump through every color and heat set every color. Sometimes I'll get a good base layer done, then I'll heat set through there. But we're going to start on the back. Actually, I'm going to start right on the sides and start fading it down. So you guys can see a little bit better. Nice light coat, guys. You don't need to hammer it on. Take that back real quick. So when we put our last color onto the back, we got something to show through. Now I'm going to hit the fade going into the orange. A little bit better. Make sure you get that tail portion. Flip her over. We're gonna fade here. Trying to get into the habit of always trying to spray into the spray booth. Seems to help the blends a little bit better. Hit this side again. Cross that back. I'm going to blend that side a little bit more too. Into the orange. Again, we're only doing light coats, so. There we go. This is a bright bait, guys. Alright. I'm going to wash this out. In the meantime, too, when I'm washing this, we're going to heat set this now. Alright, guys, so the next step in this paint job is going to apply the stencil. And today, we're going to be using a clam stencil, or a clip-on stencil. These are I get mine from CJ's Custom Stencils. You can find them on Facebook. This is the 2.5 Perch 1 pattern. These stencils are awesome, great quality. They don't go through, they don't scratch your bait. You got enough room for your hooks inside, or your eye hooks in there. So let's take this guy out of the helping hands. Try to get this on camera so you guys can see how easy it is. Again, this is heat set. We're gonna drop her right on in there. Obviously, you don't want to throw it in there, bang it against stuff. You see how she fits. And put that one right over top. So let's leave that right there. Let's get some purple loaded up. So we're gonna be using Pearl Plum from Createx. Get this in here. And give her a couple test sprays. Make sure the cleaner's out of the brush. Turn the booth back on. And for these, I kind of like to spray a little different than everyone else does. Kind of like to get nice and light and start fading it down the bait a little bit. Could do the same thing. Spray into the booth here. You can see how I'm just fading that color, and I'm not completely saturating it. I kind of want it to fade towards the bottom, so it kind of blends in with the rest of the colors. Should hit that a little bit, and I always like to go right across the top one good time, just like that. Now we're just going to repeat the process on the other side. What's awesome about these guys, just flip it over. Just flip it over. And again, you guys can do this as dark as you want to. You can do it solid. You can just go around the edges, turn the airbrush down, just get the edges so it fades into the center. Nice little part of the stencil there, because I like that. And go over just a little bit back, darken that up just a hair. Alright. Magnets on this guy is strong, so you don't got to worry about everything falling off. Alright. So now, move that stencil out of the way. Alright guys, so now we got our next stencil. We're going to add a little bit of detailing right around the belly. This is like a little, just a little texture stencil from Whitmore Farms. I like using these, it just adds a little bit more definition. And a little color contrast. Place it on there. Hope you guys will be able to see this. I kind of go with the curvature of the bait a little bit. You guys can see that on there. Now we're on this side. We're gonna come into the gill plate a little bit. Spin it over. That in there. Don't worry guys, you mess up, you can go right back over top of it. We'll get back into this gill plate here. There we go. Next, we're going to do across the back. For this stencil, we're going to be using some cracker mesh from Pretty Lures. Again guys, I'm pro staff from Pretty Lures. You can use my code, which will be linked down the bottom also as well, JMJigs10 for 10% off your purchase at checkout. Also spend $100 or more, you get free shipping. But I like using this stuff doubled up, so I'm folding that one over, and I'll sacrifice my hands for this. My nails, more or less. Get that untangled. Now I'm going to take my purple, fade down right in here. Purple. Start at the nose. Alright, now I kind of just, arm's probably going to get in the way of this one, guys, but just going to follow right on that ridge line. Couple nice easy passes, so it kind of blends that purple into our perch stripes going down the side, and also blends into that pink we put on there. Now we can go through, do the eyeballs. Nice low pressure. I'm going to bring a little purple down into the gills here. And again, nice little low pressure. Bring that purple down. You guys could always go through and go back if you want to darken up this ridge, which I'd like to do. You can darken up both sides. Hit that again. Hit that again. Get this little tail section back here, because I usually forget about that. And I think a lot of people do. But there's a sunset perch, guys. All right, we're going to clean the airbrush out and move on to the next step. All right, guys. So after I heat set the bait, you can go a couple different ways with this. I've done them where I've put an interference color over top. I've done them when I've put a color shift over top. But I think we're going to leave it at this for now. So what we're going to do, we've heat set it already, obviously. We're going to have to put our signature on it. I sign with a Sharpie. I haven't done water slides yet, which I'm going to be getting into water slides. But what I like to do, pull my helping hands out of the booth. We're gonna put my little bait towel in here so we don't scratch it up. This bait towel is made by Sage's Customs over on TikTok. You can find her. She does some amazing work. She does, I think, the bait towels, stickers, and I believe t-shirts. But we're gonna take this guy out. We're gonna pull the tape from the bill. Again, this is a process I did before we started painting, just so I don't gotta bore you guys, and everyone should know how to tape off their bills. All right, guys. I already signed it off camera, so you guys didn't have to see me sign my initials. But we're gonna glue eyes. So what I like to do, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Just a little dab of super glue right there in the middle. We're gonna go with a yellow dragon eye. So depending on how you like to put your eyes, everyone's different. You don't got to put them the same way I do. I like angling mine a little bit more towards the back. Get her into place. What's nice about having a super glue, you can maneuver it just that minute little bit if you want to. So I got that angle to the back a little bit. I'm gonna repeat the process on this side. All you need is a little dab on there, guys. You put a little too much, sometimes it'll affect you when you're clear coating. Again, we're gonna angle this one to the back a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see that. There we go. Get her right into place. This one's gotta go just a tad bit more. All right. You can see the crackle across the top in there. Our stencil, texture stencil across the bottom. Perch stripes down the side, nice and even. All right. Next step, we're gonna let this guy dry for a couple minutes. Then we're gonna mix up some BSI and clear coat this bad boy. All right, guys, it's been a couple minutes now. We've let the super glue dry on the eyes. If you do not let this dry, sometimes what's gonna happen when you put your epoxy on, it's gonna hit into the super glue. It'll get like little chunks. It'll pull the super glue. It kind of looks horrible. Ask me how I know. I've done it. A couple of us has probably done it before. It's all part of learning and doing this. I'm not perfect. I learn every day. You can never stop learning. But so our step now is epoxy. Today I'm going to be using BSI's 2-part 30-minute slow cure epoxy. So you got your resin, you got your hardener. What I like to do, I like to just do equal little lines. For this, I'll probably do about 1.5 inches of each part on these little plates. You can get these little plates in the party section at a Hobby Lobby. You catch them at the right time. You can get 100 of them for like $2. So we got the plate. Then, of course, we've got our little paintbrush and a little popsicle stick to stir everything. All right, let me move this back. I've put out, obviously it's a little overflowed now, 2 little line or equal lines of some BSI. Really give this a quick mix. Make sure you have something handy in order to clamp this when you're done, before you put it on your turner, before you hang it, whatever you guys choose to do. I recently built a turner, so I've got that out behind me. I'll take the bait, we'll put it up on a turner and let it sit. What's nice about BSI, it cures pretty quickly. As long as your room is at a decent temperature, this thing will be able to touch in probably, I would say, 3-4 hours. Wouldn't say to go take it out to the lake and throw it, but she'll be able to be held. All right. Throw that out. Take that, move that to the side. I like to go right across the back. Get a good little dollop of your BSI on there. And start pulling that epoxy. There's ways you can manipulate this too. You can hit it with a heat gun, put it in front of a little space heater, holding it for a couple minutes, actually loosen up that epoxy, make it nice and spreadable. Even though right now it's decently warm in my area today, so I'm not gonna have that issue. Make sure we get right around that bottom of the bill. Sorry guys if I was painting off camera. I like to go behind the gills and kind of circle it down a little bit. Make sure we get it all in there. Now I like doing, I don't want to say a light coat, but you want the BSI on there. You don't want it so it's so thin you're going to get little patchy spots into it. And again, BSI sets up quick, guys. So you're not saying take your time with this, but don't make it an all-day project with BSI. Again, around the gill plate to make sure we get it back there. I don't need that much. Make sure we get the back of that tail. Make sure everything's nice. You guys want to just make sure it's even. Make sure there's no big gigantic mountains of epoxy on it. Using BSI is very awesome. Now I've also used Lure Coat from Lure Build. Not a bad epoxy either. I tend to use that when I'm clear coating and epoxying multiple baits. With the setup, how fast BSI sets up, if I paint multiple of them, I'd have to mix a couple different batches of BSI. With Lure Coat, I can actually mix up a decent amount of it, and it'll last you, I want to say 10 to 15 lures, depending on the lure you're clear coating, the blank you're clear coating. So your typical jerkbait, crankbaits, even some wee shads, you can get a bunch of them done. Now, if I'm doing like one wee shad, BSI is my go-to. Or I'm doing one bait, BSI is my go-to. But, all right, guys, she's coated. You can see that shine to her. Get in that light. You can see the crackle across the top. All right. Next step is for this thing to get put on the turner. Next time you guys will see it, she'll be finished and ready for some pictures. All right, guys, so let's go over everything we used here today. Obviously, we used white That's my bottle of white. I buy the bigger bottles. I don't like leaving them in big bottles, so I transfer them over to these little, what are these, 2-ounce bottles, I believe? Yep, 2-ounce bottles. All right, so our first step was white. That's our base coat. Actually, before that, I like to scuff the baits up a little bit. I hit them with a red scuff pad. After the scuff pad, I hit them with a little bit of alcohol. Get any grease, anything on it from your fingertips onto the bait, which is going to affect your paint. I hit it with white. After white, like I said, I always do a white pearl. After the white pearl, we went with transparent yellow into transparent orange. We did a fluorescent pink. Then when it came down to the last color, we did a pearlized pearl plum. Stencils we used, CJ's Custom Stencils. They're 2.5 Perch pattern. We've used some crackle mesh from Pretty Lures. We also used a little texture stencil from Whitmore Farms. Today we use my Iwata Neo. I do have 2 Iwata Neos. I have the Creos PS270, I believe. Yep, the 270. I have a couple of Avantis. I also have a Masters. Which Masters is this? Oh, that's not a Masters. It doesn't even have the part number. I believe it's like the G43. Then we finished it off with a coat of BSI 30-minute slow cure epoxy, plus our eyeballs, our super glue. All right, guys, so that's what we used today. Everything here, I mean, everyone can get. Like I said, I am pro staff from Pretty Lures, so paint you can get from Pretty Lures, BSI you can get from Pretty Lures, crackle stencil or the crackle mesh you can get from Pretty Lures. Whitmore Farms, I believe I got the texture stencils off of Amazon. The clam stencil here, that is from CJ's Custom Stencils, which you can find them on Facebook, TikTok. I'll try to tag their links below. The 2.5 blank was from Pretty Lures as well. But I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to cut to the finished product and some money shots of this sunset perch, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you guys can, hit the like, comment, subscribe to the page for me. This is the first of many little how-to videos and paint with me videos I'm going to be doing. Plus, we got a lot more on deck. You guys just going to have to stay tuned and make sure you're subscribed to find out more. Thanks, guys. All right, guys, here you go. It was exactly 3 hours after the epoxy coat. You can see she's already touchable. She can move. She's sitting on a stand. There you go, guys.